Hey, this is Marquese Watson.
This is Bari, and this is The Dream.
We have a special guest today.
Raquina.
Hi, I'm Roshan Naravulu. I'm the owner of the Never Felt Better mental health brand. Happy to be here.
We're glad to have you up here. So before we get, because we wanted to talk about the Fyre Festival today, but before we get into that, I kind of want to give the audience a background of yourself. So I'm going to let you.
Speak, boy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who is you?
I'm a student at George Mason. Started my first company, the one I mentioned before. It's a clothing brand centered around mental health. Other than that, I'm not entirely too interesting. I mean, I like bubble tea.
Just a little brown boy.
Yeah, I'm just a little brown boy.
So why are you centered around mental health?
It's been something that's affected my friends and my family for a really long time. People always deal with mental health in some way or another, but nobody ever really wants to talk about it.
Mm.
And I think that using fashion to kind of encourage a conversation is a very different way, and I think a very effective way of making people talk about mental health. So I just want to make a difference, which is why even like 5% of the proceeds go towards Mental Health America.
Gotcha.
So
Who gave you that idea?
the master over here,
Me.
Alaa Fyre, yeah. Seriously, like if you guys need anything with your company, like hit up this dude.
We got the guy.
I am the dude.
He's the dude.
I'm the dude for
It's not
everything.
doing good things for his ego.
Yeah, stroke my ego.
No, thank you.
So I guess let's go ahead and get into it. The Fyre Festival. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a documentary on Netflix and Hulu. I've only seen the Netflix one.
I like the Netflix one better because I saw clips of the Hulu one, and it's basically just that fat fuck talking.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care about you. I care about what happened and the people.
When you say fat fuck, you're talking about the owner, right? Like
Yeah,
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, little Billy McFarland
Yeah.
or whatever.
Mm.
Billy Boy.
Yeah, Billy Boy. I was like, bro, like, first of all, you look like a sleaze bag. So if you came into my office and were going to ask me for $5 million, I would ask you to get the fuck out, please. If you're going to ask me and you're not going to show me financial proof, but also the thing is, I feel bad for the investors, but also the people that like, gave him money. Because, one, there was no initial proof.
Yeah.
Well, they were just kind of all going off of his past business, which was
Magnesis?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Magnesis.
but the thing is, I looked at Magnesis too, because I was like, what the fuck is this?
Mhm.
And I was like, I've never heard of this shit. Bro, that seems sketch as shit.
Yeah.
If you give me a black card
Mhm.
with no limit, I pay you $250 a year for an annual fee, which is the same as like a Platinum Amex for like business, right? So that's so weird. You're gonna give people with no credit an unlimited checking balance.
Mm-hmm.
That is an absolute like fuck up waiting to happen. If you give it like a 20-year-old in New York City, it's basically the thing is what I feel like what Magnesis was just hey live the lifestyle without having the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
But then the thing is he would rack you up on the $250 charge right away, which is generally what happens with the first month when you have a credit card with an annual fee. You're gonna get hit with that fee right away, and then it's gonna like snowball from there.
Mm-hmm.
And especially they would get you for interest and all this stuff that you technically couldn't pay off if you're an idiot, and you possibly just went through the unlimited amount of money that was on that black card. But then it would promise you like tickets and stuff that nobody ever got.
Well, they cancel it like right at the last minute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hello, you have this, give me money. Ooh, canceled, no refund, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Beep boop bop bop. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like scam 101. Like, the thing is, when you're looking to do business with someone, or you're looking, to go somewhere for, say, like food or to shop, I don't really give a shit about clothes, but let's say it's for food, right? Or it's like a service center, you're going to look at you don't want to look at the good reviews, right? You want to look what their bad reviews are.
Mm-hmm.
Because then that'll be like, okay, and then if they addressed it, maybe say like it's a new owner or something, okay, maybe. But then let's say there's a couple like super bad ones, and then the rest are just good.
Mm-hmm.
But then the thing is, also you want to look at the profile pictures of these motherfuckers. Cause I was doing that last night for this one service, and I was looking at it, and I was like, wait, that's David Beckham. That's like the profile picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like reverse image search like the other images, and it's just a bunch of like models.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, these are all fake, and all the bad ones are real people.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta be wary of like what it is, because that's what essentially like what an MLM is, a multi-level marketing scheme, is because they're gonna layer stuff on you, but then it's also they're gonna get you if you're like stupid.
Yeah, but something that I noticed about like the Fyre Festival thing is like, I mean technically it did happen. It's just
the
that,
two
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just
That's
that
what they stated. Yeah, it did happen.
It did
in
happen.
The promo video.
Well, I mean, it technically kind of didn't happen because there wasn't music artists
Yeah.
and stuff. It was just like hot babes.
So they had Ja Rule.
Nobody gives a fuck about Ja Rule.
Is he really a musician, or is he like one of those like?
He was.
Yeah, he was.
And then fucking 50 Cent just fucks with this man. I love 50 Cent. He's so petty. But the thing is, why I say fuck Ja Rule, because that's fucked up. Because he was like, all this shit, and he was like, did you see that little thing he said at the end? And
Yeah, it's like that's not a scam. That's what I'd call false advertising. His like voice got really high pitched.
Yeah, that's fraud, dude.
Yeah.
That's just basic. False advertisement is actually fraud by legal law.
But for those who don't know what the Fyre Festival is, so back in 2017, Ja Rule and this guy named Billy McFarland, they decided to put on a music festival for basically people to live Instagram in real life. That's the most used coin of the to describe the event. And so their plan was to throw a huge ass upscale music festival on a island, Pablo Escobar's own island, in the Bahamas, and have, I don't know, like 6,000-7,000 people come, live in tents, villas, mansions or whatever, and basically stay there and live a festival life, but it just ended up crashing down on them.
Yeah, but was it? I think it was 600 at the beginning, but the thing is,
10,000 people signed up for it, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
so it was like a ridiculous amount. They couldn't house everyone because they changed locations.
Yeah, so the first thing is like 600.
Yeah.
But like usually that island could probably only house like 60 to 100 comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the size, it's probably like maybe like a mile.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that big. So in like square foot terms, that's like a 30,000 square foot house. 36,000, I think, or something like that. Some number for like a mile. So these people, well, like what they did was why they couldn't use Pablo Escobar's island. I was like, listen, you guys brought this shit upon yourselves, right? If the lawyer says do not say Pablo Escobar's island, just don't say it, right? Like who gives a fuck like about Pablo Escobar's island, right? You got Bella Hadid, all these super like models, and it's just like, bro, you should learn to use what you got instead of just trying to do that, because I don't think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Pablo Escobar. Most people are going to be like, oh, boobies, because sex appeal sells. So I feel like that's one thing that people didn't really they didn't realize, but then they also fucked themselves, and then they put themselves in this whole thing. And then I was like, you could have avoided most of it if you just went tiny, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I felt like if they would have started small on like a beach, and then maybe they could have grew it, and then possibly then grow into off.
When you build a business, you want to scale it, right? And like I said in like all the other podcasts, you start small, then you get like small attracts big, right?
Right.
So as you're continuously going and like all this shit, and then you're doing it, you're gonna gain traction. You're gonna do all this stuff, but also you start off with like we're in the digital age, where Instagram is basically king. All these influencers have more power than maybe news people or anything else, or any sort of advertisement. So, paying these people, and even some of these influencers didn't really get paid. And I feel like there was like 600 influencers roughly, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That was supposed to be there.
Yeah, some crazy number. So the dude was just like, more is better, more is better, more is better, more is better. That's not the case here. More is not better, because then the more you do is the more the hassle you're going to get, as well as, more can be better in the point of, okay, look, I've been doing this for 5 years. I need more traction, right? I want to expand. We're going to get 2 islands. We're gonna have boats going between islands. Yeah, okay, that works.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing it year one, you're doing like mile, 2 mile island out of nowhere, $10 million island. That's not that bad. I was like, damn, I might just go buy that island. I was like, that's pretty cheap.
Right, because cheap for right here.
I was like, for an island, that's pretty cheap.
Okay.
For an island, because normally I'm like 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, but I was like, 10 million or 8, whatever the price that dude got. It was like 10 million is a pretty decent price for your own land in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Do you think that like they could have done it if they had maybe planned it farther out? Because they mentioned in the documentary that it usually takes like 6 months to like put together. Yeah,
it's
or like a year.
A year would have been perfect.
To put together a festival, but they did try to do it in like 7 weeks or something like that.
Yeah,
so
but that's
ridiculous.
also because everything fell apart 7 weeks beforehand. That's why it gave that like 52-day timer or 49-day timer or whatever it was.
And then it kept going like blank days out, blank days out, blank days out.
Yeah, I think it would have been a better situation if they planned it out further ahead.
But also, you could have just pushed it back and maybe given people a 10% refund.
Yeah.
But he blew through the money, so he couldn't do that.
Yeah. Trying to salvage what mess he made. Yeah. But we can't knock the marketing strategy behind it was pretty good. Yeah, it was a solid marketing strategy behind it.
Well, I mean, influencer marketing either way is going to be a good idea. But otherwise, it's like the whole thing is going to go to shit.
Yeah. The agency that did it was like really on top of their game too. Like it wasn't like Ja Rule and Billy were like.
Well, yeah. Well, basically, because like all the agency did was just manage the Instagram, right? Managed posts, and just deleted what they stated. Mm-hmm. They didn't do anything crazy. They just kind of kept the media down. Mm-hmm. Essentially, they weren't like promoting all this stuff or creating media. Fyre Media would create the media, and then it would just send it over to Jerry's media company, right? And then they would just handle the Instagram account.
Right.
And that's what they would do. And then that's basically what it would be.
Yeah, and then it got to a point where not even Fyre Media knew what was going on, so they kept reusing old stuff.
Yeah, because, as they got kicked off the first island, they basically... Oh, yeah, by the way, spoilers ahead. As they got... a big spoiler warning.
Well, I mean, they probably should have already seen it by now.
But, yeah, so, yeah, after they got kicked off the first island, I feel like they were in such a hassle, but also the dude didn't want to admit that he fucked up. Mm-hmm. So, he's just, he's like full of pride, all this stuff. And, he's like on top, he feels like he's on top of the world, but he hasn't been hit by a reality check. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is his reality check in a multitude of ways. So, for him, once they got fucked off that island, he just didn't want to own it. And so it was like, okay, let's just reuse this content. Mm. And so, like, let's give nobody updates. Let's do all this stuff. And let's just keep going, right? He's like, okay, what we have is fine. We don't need to worry about it. Let's just keep going. Mm-hmm. And then basically that's, like, his mentality of it all. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's not really how life works. Because he got reality checked by prison.
6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he'll probably, he's like, when he was talking to that one guy then, he's like, what's prison like, right? Like 23-1. Which is, you're in a cell for 23 hours, and you have 1 hour to get out, stretch, do whatever. He's like, I'm not going to prison. And then I'm like, what? Yeah, you are stupid. And then, he builds another scam.
While he's on parole, right?
Yeah, and I was like...
so stupid. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, listen, bro, just chill in your parents' basement. Mm-hmm. Just fucking eat it. And then, come out, and basically, you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. He has 6 years in prison, or more, depending on his behavior and things like that, of course. But then also, he has a lifetime ban from serving as a director or a chief officer. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you're going to be either, what's his name?
Jordan Belfort?
No.
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
No. Who's the guy who plays in the shadows? Like, who's a synonymous guy? Who's always in the shadows, like, pulling the strings?
Orchestrator?
No. I know it's like an orchestrator, but I'm saying, like, a specific character that people could...
Oh, gotcha.
What's the guy from Aladdin? What's his name again? Jafar, right?
He's always,
like, in the back. and he's like manipulating everything.
No, I mean,
in a way.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying in a way. That's
for
just
the sake of the analogy.
For the sake of the analogy, it's Jafar. It's Jafar, a little creepy motherfucker in the back. Because he's always like, he's plotting. He wants to like take over, but his bitch ass can't, right? Because of legalities. Mm-hmm. So he's just gonna sit there. He's gonna pull like the king's strings, and everything else. Because he can't be the face of the company. He can't be all that. But I'm pretty sure he can like rig it in the contract to where he makes that kind of money, and he has that sort of like basically ownership.
Okay.
Yeah, he just doesn't have to call himself.
Yeah.
So which is the easiest.
Executive producer.
Yeah.
Well, you can't be an executive producer.
Just minor producer.
Or just
you could just be like
custodian making.
Yeah, you be a custodian and making $30 million a year. That could actually work. I mean, honestly, it just depends on like
custodian of all accounts.
Yeah, just like an account custodian. Custodian can't.
But moral of the story, the whole shit was a fuck up, and if you're gonna try to do something of that scale, then.
I mean, if you're gonna do anything, just plan. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Also, don't take people's money without being able to actually produce, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, one thing I've told you consistently is like, when you're starting a business, you're probably 6 months out, right? Yeah. Unless you know exactly what you're doing, you have a producer, you have like all this content that you can just pump out readily. This dude was, went above and beyond. He was just selling the dream where he couldn't provide the dream. And he couldn't have resources for the dream. But also he put himself just in a precarious situation where, he increased morale, falsified a bunch of shit, and then basically, put a bunch, used his influence to pump other people's influence. Mm-hmm. So they would do what he wanted to do, right? So, let's say for me, I was like, holy shit, I would never do that. Let's talk about the Andy King moment, right?
Okay.
That was hardcore. I was thinking about it. I was like, if I ever needed this done, I would just literally, I wouldn't text anyone. I'd be like, yo, go suck his dick. I wouldn't be like, you have to take one for the team. I'd be like, listen, I have friends who I could just show up at their house with a dead body in my car, and they'd be like, let's go. All right, we're fine.
But hypothetically, right?
Hypothetically.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, if I showed up at some blank person's house, I know that they wouldn't question it, and they would be like, okay, look, we're going to hide the body. And, I'd have them either, knock me out and then dump me somewhere. And then they would dump my car some random place. So, you just orchestrate this giant thing. So, FBI, if you're listening, I didn't do it.
But you're referring to the Andy King, the thing in documentary, right?
So it's like, if someone was going to ask me, if I was going to ask, because, I have to say, people who are within my companies, believe in me to a higher extent. Mm. So, they'll do stuff for the company and things like that, because, they know it's for the greater good. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell them, hey, go suck this custom agent's dick, or, go fuck them, just because, you're the gay guy in the team, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm not really, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, exploit someone for their sexual nature or something like that. Or, let's say, if I was like, Marquese, this is going to be fucked up. But I was like, yo, he's a black guy, you're a black guy, you two will connect, right? That's stupid. I know that, but I'm just saying, that's stupid as shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him, be like, hey, because you're racial, or, because your sexual nature, go do this, or, let's say if it's one of our friends, we're talking about.
I feel you.
Ginormous motherfucker, right? He's most definitely gonna, he'll believe me. I tell him to do something, I'll probably just do it, right?
Yeah. So you build when you ask somebody to do something, it's out of faith, not hey, can you do this?
No, they're gonna do it out of faith,
yeah,
right? They're gonna do it out of faith for the company and the image and the betterment of you, because they believe in you and they want the best for you.
Andy must have believed something.
Bro, Andy,
no hesitation.
That guy, his loyalty to Billy,
was holy shit. Even 5-6 years.
Yeah, even now he was like, he's coming back. Billy's coming back. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not.
That's crazy.
It's done.
But everyone needs a Andy on the team in some sense to just do whatever it takes to. Yeah. Well, there's limits, but do whatever it takes.
We're not exactly Andy.
Yeah, not exactly Andy, and Andy.
If I can, something I really noticed while I was watching that was the mentality behind the consumers that were going to the Fyre Festival. It sucks that you were honestly, I'm so empathetic that they've lost $5,000 Like
or more,
or more, but sometimes
they
more.
put like 3 Gs on a stupid RFID bracelet.
Like 5,000 was just like the average,
right?
Of what like a customer did there, but the mentality behind it is that like they expected to live like a 1% lifestyle, even though they, I mean, if you like work a salary job, I work a salary job right now, you know what I mean? Like that's okay. It's just don't expect someone to just hand you, you know what I mean, like even a day in the lifestyle of a 1%er.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's not real. That's fake. You know what I mean? And like you spent $5,000 on that, and if it turns out not to be true, I mean,
yeah, you can't expect.
You know what I mean? Like you want all this stuff for like free, essentially. Like it doesn't cost $5,000 to live $1 billion lifestyle. It costs $1 billion to live $1 billion lifestyle.
Yeah, like let me tell you something that a lot of people don't know, right? Let's say we're in San Diego. We're in La Jolla, which is the richest county in San Diego, where the best houses, and you're on the beach. Let's say we get a ranch, right? Well, let's call it a ranch, right? Maybe it's like 2 acres, maybe 1 acre. The generalistic living cost for that, and a lot of people don't know this, is it's going to be about 13 to 23 grand a month just to live there, right? That's not accounting mortgage or anything else, right? For like a $20 million property, people don't realize the upkeep of like things and like what money costs. So for me, if I was going to buy that, I'd be like fake grass. Because also, I just wouldn't really, I don't really need a ranch, or I wouldn't want a ranch, but if I was ever going to purchase one, there would have to be some sort of investment in it for me, right? So for me, I'd just be like, okay, fake grass, I don't have to deal with it, it's something that I don't have to pay for, but also, it's something that just takes care of itself, or whatever it is, or just looks nice. But it's like a lot of people don't realize, what comes with money. Money comes with taxes. When you buy nice things, there's tax. I'm saying for cars especially, right? People are like, oh, I'm just going to buy $250,000 a car. I'm going to pay, say, $3,000 a month, right? It's not what's about to happen, right? You put $50 down, you pay over 72 months, maybe about like $2,500 to $3,000, depending on whatever your interest rate is. It's not, you're going to get hit with a 6% tax rate. So then you're going to have like a 10, $20K tax bill. You could be like, where the fuck? And I'm saying that for the people that are like, oh, I can buy this car, I can afford it, because I make blank amount, but they have no savings, they have no nothing, and it's just, you get this tax bill and you're fucked, right? Then you get a loan, and you pay it off, and then you're just like, by the next time you do the same thing, right? Because you're stretching your finances out for the next 6 years. And that's not smart, because people want to live the lifestyle, they want to flex, they want to do all this stuff, but they can't, and that's like the thing is like, there's taxes, there's interest rates. I mean, you could avoid taxes and all that stuff for sure, but that's not very smart.
No, the IRS will catch you. They'll find you.
They'll catch you, like them snap thoughts. But oh shit, whatever. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. But like you said, they had this expectation that they can take 5,000 and live $1 billion lifestyle, but
so you can go take 5 Gs, go to Hawaii, and you live like a king.
Yeah, I feel empathetic, but I mean,
I wouldn't be empathetic.
They fucked up.
And I still feel bad for them, because I mean, I'm sure they're really upset about losing $5,000. I would be upset about losing $5,000, but it's for a dumb reason that you lost $5,000.
Yeah.
You blew it on. It's just you blew it on like a pipe dream, essentially.
But I mean, let's be honest. If you have $5,000 to spend on a 3-day trip or whatever, then
but most people most definitely put that shit on a credit card.
That's true.
Because listen,
if you have $5 and zero debt, you are richer than I think like 70% of Americans.
Yeah.
That is a big ass fucking number of how many people are in debt. $5?
Yeah.
You're richer than 70% of people? People are like, oh, debt is king. No, listen. If you're running like a corporation or things like that, yeah, okay, debt is key, because you can escape taxes, all that shit. But, you'd rather be in the green, the black essentially, instead of the red. But, if you have like a certain amount of debt and you're like in real estate, that's perfectly fine. Because, you're paying it off, you're doing all this stuff, it's invested, right? It's liquidity. But as people are just like, oh, you want to get your credit up, right? You get your credit up, 30% of your credit is what your utilization balance is. So, don't max out your credit card every month just because they give you a $3,000 limit. You don't make over $3,000 a month. So, calm your fucking titties.
Yeah.
So, pay that shit down month by month or however much you can. But also the thing is, we live in a world that people don't know what sacrifice is. Don't you guys agree? Like, people are just, like, kind of privileged in the terms of everything is handed to them, or they don't know, you know, like, let's say the sacrifices that some of us have gone through within, like, you know, early 90s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or whatever it is. People don't realize these things. So then we live in well, it's also a culture shock when people get scammed and stuff like that. Because people are like,
how?
Yeah, they're like, how could someone do this? Or, you know, or like, how did this happen to me? Because, you know, I was like, they think of the world of themselves, or, you know, they just think anything is, like, nothing bad can happen to them.
Yeah.
But that's like, we live in a world like that for a lot of people, right? A lot of people are like, oh, this can't happen to me, that can't happen to me. But it's also a realization, you know, you have the same possibility as anyone in the room to get kidnapped, shot, stabbed, killed, run over, freak accident, something blow up in the room. That's the extreme aspect of it. But, you know, you get scammed, you get bankrupt, you know, your bank account gets stolen, your ID gets stolen, you know, basically someone takes your identity. Everyone has absolutely the same amount of chance. Maybe some people have put themselves in situations where that's a higher percentage of risk, for sure. But, you know, everyone has the same amount of chance, like normal people, essentially.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, no, this can't happen to me. No, it can perfectly happen to you. That's why you have to protect yourself against those things. And you have to be ready for it. Like, for these Fyre Festival guys, listen, if someone sent me an email asking for more money, and then I'm going to need it on a RFID chip.
The bands. Yeah,
I was like, I would call I would be like, listen, someone took my credit card. I didn't do this payment. Give me my fucking money back. And I'd be like, done. Like, I'm not doing this shit. That's what a shakedown is. Yeah. It's called a shakedown. It's just smart MLMs. It's a multi-level marketing shakedown. That's what it is, right? Because, you know, you can tell. I like paused and I was like, okay, let me see if I get this like email. You know, like see what the email said or whatever it was. But as they explained it, it's basically just a smart shakedown, right? They just sat there and they wrote down a script. And as you saw, like, later on, he's like, you know, these people don't call twice. You know, call them twice right away, right? Because everyone calls on the second ring. That's a scam, right? Right off the bat. And especially if someone's like, oh, like, I'm the owner calling you for, like, trying to sell something to you. Unless you're, like, you know, you're a small firm or something, or, you know, you refer directly to the owner, that's a little bit sketchy. Because, you know, if I get a random call for some dude,
I'm most definitely going to fucking pick up. If he's like, oh, I'm selling you something, I'm like, sorry, sir, goodbye. Like, I was like, because you can buy people's phone numbers, you know that, right?
Yeah.
There's, like, databases where you can just buy people's phone numbers and emails.
And you can send it to some, like, phone farm where Rajid will change his name to Tony and call you.
Rajid.
I mean,
He's really going after the Indians today.
No, I'm saying, but no, that shit happens, right?
Damn it, Kumar, like.
No, but I'm saying that shit happens though. I'm saying because, like, you know, there's generalistic business practices of why, like, people are gonna get called by, you know, these IRS scam artists or whatever it is.
Right.
I'm just trying to cover the bases essentially of what's gonna happen because that's something that's more synonymously known.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, done.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about mental health.
Let's do it.
I know you briefly said...
Believe in yourself, goddammit.
Yeah.
I know you briefly said why you focus on it through clothing, but kind of reiterate on that. If you can.
I just think it's immensely important. It's just as important as like something. If somebody's struggling with their mental health, the fact that they're struggling is just as important as something like a physical illness. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I want to make sure that everyone understands that, you know, mental health and mental illness are two separate things. You know what I mean? Like mental illnesses can affect your mental health.
Yeah.
But everybody has mental health. If you're kind of going through it in a bad way, then you should seek help for that or take steps to help better your mental health. Unfortunately, as much as I tell people, to love yourself and don't forget to take a breath, look up, smile, because all these things are like different ways to like make you feel better in that moment and help you calm down. It's up to the individual to kind of take that initiative and do something to better their mental health. And the reason why I'm kind of like using fashion to push that message and that belief that I have is because, when you're wearing something, and if you see it in the mirror, like you just start thinking about it, like I maybe I'm just vain this way, but if I'm wearing like an Adidas shirt or something like that and I look in the mirror, I'm thinking about like how that like works with the rest of my outfit and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So if like, and when you think Adidas, like you think like sportswear or activewear, some styling thing or Yeezys, and yeah, Alaa loves his Yeezys. But
most comfortable shoe on the planet. Second to Ultra Boost.
But yeah, like if somebody looks in the mirror or even looks at my shirt, I want the first thing for them to think about is their mental health and how they can make it better for themselves.
Gotcha.
So.
Have you gone through like a mental health like downfall recently?
I have not, no. I've been fortunate enough that like I've always had a very solid support group and parents, because fact of the matter is you're a lot of people's mental health boils down to their support group. You know what I mean? If they have a really bad support group, if their parents don't really like care about them or something like that, or if they don't have good friends or destructive friends,
right,
their mental health takes a downturn. And sometimes they don't even realize it. I've been fortunate enough and I guess protected in that I've never had to deal with that.
I like how you said realized it because last year I kind of had like a dark couple months.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as bad as other people have it,
right.
but
I mean, each individual's journey is their journey. Like, I don't compare yourself to other people, because it's big for you,
Yeah, but I mean, to like jump in, I was like, for me, it was like probably 2-3 years. But I still kept my head up. I didn't really talk about it because I was just like, I'm just gonna deal with it with myself. It's not really like other people's issues. Like I'm not gonna be like, I'm fucking depressed on Twitter or Tumblr. Like, and for you kiddos who don't know what Tumblr is, But I was just like, I'm just gonna suck it up. Right. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean that's your journey.
But it's like
different people have different ways of.
Yeah. But I'm saying like going back to the point where you said like everyone's different. That's for sure. But I'm saying you can still. If you've gone through it, you can still be like supportive or help someone who's gone through it. You can tell them, be like, I've been there, but but you also have to reiterate that you haven't been there in their exact position.
Yeah, of course.
Because then you're just gonna sound like a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But you were saying. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Shit, what was I about to say?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, it was like a couple months, and then like all they said, like during those couple months, I was kind of blind to it. I was just living life. I was like, maybe I'm just doing whatever. But then I realized, like, oh shit, I'm not all right. I'm broken or whatever in a sense. And then I was basically doing olives, and I was like, I'll just suck it up. I'm like, I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying? I can get through it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was doing that for like a month or two. Then I took a step back from my life, and I looked around what was around me, and really it was kind of a bunch of toxicity or whatever, like stuff that basically that wasn't putting me in the happiest position that I wanted to be in.
Yeah, toxic people, toxic environment.
Yeah. So the cliche way to do was I got off social media for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then that kind of helped. But then I still felt that negative energy around me. So I started looking at my friends. Yeah. And then now I love all my friends, but it's just their own thing wasn't necessarily my thing. So it wasn't putting me in the best position for me to be happy. So I just cut myself from whatever they were doing. I was like, no, and then that kind of helped me a little bit better. And then now I'm feeling a lot lighter.
That's great.
And then
over here through the planet off
It's Atlas, actually.
Yeah.
It's Alice.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
Atlas.
Good try.
Yeah. I was just saying it. I was trying to be funny.
I feel you.
But the thing is, like, what I like to say is what I've been saying for a couple of years, probably since like I think junior or senior year of high school, is to be the person you want to be in the future, not the person people want you to be today.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are like, oh, like I want you to do this, right? To like please me. Fuck you. I want to please me, bitch.
Yeah, chasing clout is the easiest way.
Bro,
You know what I mean? Like
swag was the thing when we were in fucking high school.
Yeah,
Swag was
swag.
like clout tokens.
Yeah.
Fucking people chugging dick.
Jaw coins. Or
Yeah, bro. Like people are stupid, bro. I
mean,
swear to God, if you come to me,
Yeah.
listen. This is.
Yeah.
You can fucking take this as a threat. You come up to me, you say clout to me, I will slap the piss out of you. Because you were fucking a degenerate idiot. Look, you can say it as a funny token, but if you were taking clout as a fucking serious thing, you were stupid. And I'll call you stupid.
Yeah.
And if I assault you, it's probably because I know you.
What about drip? Do you like drip?
Drip.
I like drip.
I like
Drip is nice.
Drip is nice
Drip's
because
a fun
listen,
word. Drip's a fun word.
It's just fun because, look, I've used it before, but also I use it as, like, a derogatory term in a way because I was, like, because I saw this kid at the gym and he was just covered in, like, fucking fake diamonds.
Really? In the gym?
That's
Huh?
weird.
Oh, well, your gym is different.
Yeah, Lifetime.
No, it was like...
Lifetime's wild in that.
yeah, it was like fucking 7 p.m. This dude just comes out with, like, a fucking chain and his fucking name on it.
I remember.
And it was just like fucking false. It looks fake as shit.
Yeah.
But he's just like a fucking chain with his name on it.
Right.
Right? And I
Right.
was like,
I remember I was on.
I just texted someone. I was like, yo, some dude came out, dripped out
Yeah.
of the gym, and he's not sweating.
Right. I remember I was on your website once, Marquese. I was looking through your clothes because you got some really good stuff on there. And I saw this one hoodie like drip. Right,
with the snow cone.
With the ice cream cone. And I was like, yeah, that's actually kind of sick. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
it was at that moment that I knew drip was an acceptable word. But what I was saying before though, like chasing clout and kind of chasing like a lifestyle that
Build
isn't-
your own lifestyle.
You know what I mean? Like believe in yourself first. That's like the first step. Like before you can, do all these breathing exercises and all this stuff. You know what I mean? To like make yourself.
Leaving that crap.
Yeah, like I mean, like you don't.
Just
but-
stretching, like you can stretch and meditate if it makes you feel.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I personally just don't feel better.
Yeah,
If someone
but-
tells me to breathe, I'm like, you breathe.
yeah, like chasing clout is like the easiest way to like be disappointed with your life and hate yourself. Like
Right.
that's personal experience. That's what I've seen. So
Yeah, but also, if you're chasing quote unquote clout,
Mhm.
but it's like, listen, bro, if you're a clout chaser, you want them clout tokens, like you're a hoe. But man or female, enjoy it. The thing is, just don't, say like, oh, like, you're a clout chaser or whatever it is. Basically,
Yeah.
people are just dick riders, right?
Mhm.
Like, those are day of age dick riders. That's
Okay.
that's what they're called. They're just fucking dick riders.
is that the scientific term? Or?
Yes, they're fucking dick riders, bro. They fucking ride your shit. They do everything you do. They're trying to ride your dick, bro. Even if you're a female, dude, whatever it is, they're trying to ride your ass, right? They're trying to. In the way that I see it is, those people, kind of like it's I'm not. Yeah, to people I'm not very empathetic, depending on people.
Yeah, I mean like
Yeah, but it's like. Because I know how to deter that relationship, right?
I mean you say that, but like I know that you got like a heart.
No, I know I have a heart and shit, but it's like for some people I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But
LA takes care of his friends. Like he's not as mean as he makes himself out to be. Like
listen, in business I will tear you apart.
Yeah,
but in real life I'm like a cuddly kitty cat. But I'm a fucking lion.
I don't want to cuddle you.
No, I'm nice, bro. I'm nice. No, I don't give a fuck. I want you to cuddle me, you bitch. Listen.
Everybody got water except for me?
I don't know where you've been, motherfucker.
No, that's fine.
Alright.
I got water in my car.
Listen, hydration is important. Drink about a gallon a day. That's about 8 water bottles a day. That is 16 fluid ounces times 8. You can do the math. I'm not going to do it right now. But the thing is, love yourself. If you essentially want a clout chaser, don't say it's clout chasing or, you don't say you want clout. You just want that lifestyle, right? Mm-hmm. That's a goal. Mm-hmm. That's a goal for you in the future, right? Live your fucking dream, right? That's not like, oh, I'm going to chase this person. I'm going to do every single person this stuff. I'm going to buy what this person's wearing. I'm going to buy all this shit. Listen, if you're wearing designer clothes and you're in a fucking Honda, that's it. Nothing wrong with fucking Hondas. But I'm saying, bro, if you're driving like a $500 beater and you're fucking wearing Gucci head to toe.
Yeah.
and it's real, not fake. That shit you buy off like the street of Manhattan. You have your priorities super fucked up.
Yeah.
Because a fucking Gucci hoodie is like $1,400. Gucci shorts are like $500. A Gucci hat is $400. I mean, it look clean, but it's like, come on, bro. Like, you can invest in yourself rather than living this fucking fake ass lifestyle.
Yeah. Because
listen, bro, if you're wearing Gucci head to toe, some girl is gold digger, or she's like, oh, that guy has he has nice time, or he has money, right? You fucking bring her back to your car, you got a fucking $500 Honda, the fucking seats and the headline is falling apart. That says something about you, right? That says where your priorities are in life.
Right.
I'm not saying don't buy that shit. Even if you have a $500 Honda, treat yourself, right? But I'm saying don't put all your money towards your style or chasing this sort of image that you want to live. Do it to where you can have that image and live that lifestyle extremely comfortable.
Yeah, because you're self-sabotaging otherwise.
Like, you
have to recognize.
Want to sweat your finances out.
You have to recognize when you're self-sabotaging.
Right.
Yeah, because listen, banks make so much money off your ass. If you're like, overdrafting your account, all this stuff, and especially if you're like, let's say head to toe Gucci, you gotta get all the Gucci, all the new Supreme, all the new fucking Bape, everything, right? I mean, unless you're a reseller, that's fine, right? Resell that shit. Bape sells. Well, there was a Bape release this morning. I was like, should I wake up and like buy all this shit and then sell it? Because I was like, dude, the Bape Ultra Boost were like $200, right? I was like, okay, that's fine. I can just get them both, get a couple sizes on each. They resell for $450.
Alaa, don't chase clout. Alaa gets clout.
No, I know. I mean, look, Bape is. I'm not saying clothing lines are clout, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying clout is like a personal image.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I see clout as. Is someone's personal image. I'm not gonna pick on anyone, but let's say it's.
She's Never Feel Better as an example.
No. I don't want to pick on the face line.
Plug.
I'm gonna pick on the face line, right?
Yeah.
They're great guys. They're not really clout chasers, but it's like they have the clout house, right?
Right.
That's just they're making fun of it.
Yeah.
People like take that shit seriously.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like fucking, dude, they like dick ride people, right? They'll dick ride people in organizations, like they want to be them. And I'm like, just don't do it, right? You see it in fitness, like you see it in influencers. Everyone's like doing the same shit. No one has their own image nowadays. Everyone's like, I gotta follow the trends. I gotta do. I mean, shit. If it works, do it. But also, retain that personal attribute. Just don't be a fucking robot. Because people are just like, just live. The way I see people live their lives now is just whatever the news, whatever the trend is, and it's just like, I wouldn't say they're sociopaths, but in a way that they're basically just temporary sociopaths where they don't have themselves, and they're just following this like trend, right? And they're just like hopping on the new rail, right? New train, boom boom choo choo.
Yeah. I'm
on that bitch. Because look, swag was a thing, and then swag died, and then it was like, what was it, like lit?
Yeah, that's. I mean,
yeah,
I'm getting pretty old, so
lit,
that's why.
Right? It was like lit and all that dumb shit, and then after that it became clout. Yeah, it basically became clout. I don't know what.
Back in my day, it was just cool and awesome.
Yeah, and then even before that, it was like dude. It was like dude. Everyone would say dude.
You say dude. I say dude.
I say dude because we grew up on it, right? And then it's like no, but it's like everyone would say dude like every other word.
Oh.
Be like, dude, what's dude? Oh, dude, my dude, what, dude? Yo, dude, what are you doing, dude?
I think it's like guy now. Like, what's up, my guy? Yo.
Yeah, I don't like that. That shit is stupid.
It rolls off the tongue.
No, see, for you and the girl at Lifetime, that's fine. That's your thing, right? But I'm saying, if I'm gonna go up with someone, if someone's gonna call you my guy.
Well, I only say it to people I know.
Yeah, but I was like.
So it's your manager, like, what's up, my guy, David? Like,
yeah, I'd be like, listen, you're fired. Like, I fire people for less shit than that.
Yeah.
Like, I fire people
for smelling bad.
No, I wouldn't do that. That's like
discriminatory. Yeah, you're right.
HR would have my ass. Yeah, but no, I generally, I run a tight ship. I like to say, because I don't really if respect is number one, right? If you don't show me respect, especially I just fired someone recently for not showing up to a meeting, and that was like an important ass meeting, and I was like, listen, you have till blank time to respond to me. Person didn't respond to me. You're dead. Like, you're dead to me in the water. Goodbye. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, no second chances. I gave you a second. Well, technically, I gave you a second chance to respond, but you didn't.
I mean, like, that just makes sense, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna unreasonably fire you. Be like, damn, you stink today. Get the fuck out of the office. And come back.
You smell funny.
Yeah, I'd be like,
yeah.
Just go take a shower. Go back home. But also, like, you know, if you're sick and, like, I tell you to go home and then you get me sick, I'm just gonna be mad about that.
Yeah, you're not gonna fire.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, I was like, Alaa.
No, that's a certain example. That's a certain example because my friend was talking to me about that. He owns a store, like a wireless center up in Gainesville, and he was telling me how his employee got sick, and I was like, bro, fire that bitch. He's like, I should have. And he's like, fire people for less. And I was like, okay. I was just having a laugh about it, but yeah, don't fire people for dumb shit like that. You fire people for, like, respect issues, HR issues, or sexual harassment issues.
Yeah.
Especially if, like...
Especially sexual harassment issues. Yeah. Get them out.
Yeah. I'll just beat your ass and then I'll get your ass.
Exactly.
No, I won't do that. It won't be me. It was
whack, dude.
Someone I know. Yeah. But,
that hypothetical situation of putting the body in the car from the beginning of the podcast, like that.
Listen.
I mean, it's still hypothetical, but I mean... It's
hypothetical. But I mean, generally, there wouldn't be a body to be found anyway.
Jesus Christ. Like,
there wouldn't be a body.
I have no relation to this.
You ain't kidding me. I mean, it's not like I'm a homicide maniac.
I wasn't even really supposed to be here. He made me come here.
He's chained to a chair, people. He's not really like... Yeah. Who the fuck is this? Call times.
Is that it for today? Anybody else got anything to talk about?
That's really it. I mean, oh wait, sorry. I know that I was mentioning a lot about, like, you know, breathing and all that stuff, and, like, stuff like better yourself, but if you have anxiety or depression or anything like that, I genuinely think you should seek help for that from a therapist.
All schools have it. Like, it's free, dude.
Yeah,
don't be afraid, because the thing is, doctor, client, privilege.
Yeah. Your doctor literally can't, like, if you're worried about them talking to your parents, they can't unless you give them permission. Like,
or unless you're going to harm yourself or others.
You know what I mean? Like, but seek help. Make sure that you're better. Like, the whole idea is for you to be happy. Like, don't you want to be happy?
Right.
But yeah, I just want to put that in there just in case.
But also, happy is like a term.
Well, yeah, whatever your definition of happy is. Like, I genuinely want you to reach that. You know.
Go ahead and give yourself a little shout out. Go ahead and plug yourself in.
Oh man, I've been.
Let us send you that invoice.
Okay. Wait, really? Yeah, no, but go check out nfbclothing.com. There's gonna be some sales going on, so it's great. A sale, you know what I mean?
I'm the all-father of that sale. Thank you very much.
But essentially, you know, it's a mental health brand. We want what's best for you. Clothing's relatively cheap as well, but it's very comfortable.
Listen, nothing in this world is cheap.
You were well priced, sir.
I mean, I'm affordable. Okay, you can afford me. Well, my clothing, not me, because that's like not allowed. Yeah, I do.
I mean, they can. If
just go check out the brand, okay?
World country.
Yeah.
Listen, you can be on a boat tomorrow.
nfbclothing.com. Go do it.
Maybe they'll sell your kidneys.
Jesus.
All right, well, that's it, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Have a good day, sir.